so yummy. Oh, this sauce so yummy. No, you want this yummy. Yummy all in your tummy. Level up, level up, level up, level up, level up.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. It is the Reach Podcast Show with your host, LeVar Ellis. As you can see, we are back for another amazing show. We have you guys off screen right now so you can see who our guest is. So pay attention to the flyer. We're going to learn all about Miss Joyce Johnson this morning, and we're now going to join you guys on screen and just say thank you for tuning in. We want to just make sure that you guys know who this young lady is. So we'll be telling another story. You know, the Reach Podcast is all about telling stories of the community and those people driving those stories. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Say hello to everybody, Ms. Joyce Johnson.
Hello, everyone.
Absolutely.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for joining.
Yes. And like she said, we got cameras everywhere. So we'll be turning our heads, just talking to different people, just to make sure that we tell the story that she's trying to put across this morning and learn about what she's doing. So we just, again, want to say thank you. And we appreciate you guys for tuning in each and every week as we keep this show going and flowing. And just, again, thank you. So without further ado, this is the Reach Podcast Show, and I am your host and your founder of the Reach Podcast Show, LeVar Ellis, and again, this is Miss Joyce Johnson. And as we do every week, the first thing I want to do, because we have some exciting news and announcements this morning. And so first thing I like to do is talk about our show sponsors and just give shouts out to the people that are here in the community doing things and just that are moving and grooving. Some of them we are connected to. Most of them I'm definitely connected to. So just want to highlight a few people. And so in doing so, the first company I'd like to highlight is all about positive hip hop and inspirational music, which is WBP Radio. It's a good friend of mine. It's Atlanta-based radio station. And so one of the things we were having a conversation about yesterday is the stuff we listen to. How can it subconsciously get into your mind and get into your head? So you can go to the Apple Store. You can go to the Google stores. I can't even think of iTunes. And you can also go to the Play Store and you can download WBP Radio. We Break Purpose Radio, and also just listen to it for a little while and give them a survey. That's what they're actually looking for. Give them a survey. Tell them what you think about the radio station, and just give it to your kids. That's another thing. It's all about giving it to the kids, giving them some positive things to listen to, and just help understand that there can be a change when you are aware about some of the things that you put into your system, you know, whether it be food you're eating or the airwaves and sound waves that we're absorbing from day to day. So big shouts out to my man Tibbs. He's also
download that.
Yes. Absolutely. Before you know it, just like we was jamming just a minute ago, you really will be doing that.
Absolutely.
So big shouts out to WBP Radio, and appreciate you guys for all that you do for the Reach Podcast Show. Next thing is if you guys are anywhere close to Missouri City right now, because this is my family's own business. This is a event space where if you're having a birthday party, if you have a celebration, if you have a breakfast luncheon for a bunch of women that are in business,
like I do.
Absolutely. We're going to talk about that a little bit too. But this is a space where it's a blank canvas. You can turn it to whatever you want. I've used it several times. I have a poetry night that I put on, and the space is just marvelous. And they'll definitely turn it into what you want it to be like. They have a bunch of different aesthetics that you can add to the space to make it look good. So big shouts out to my cousin, my family doing their thing over at Honey Beyond Studio. So whenever you're needing to have a space, have a birthday party, baby shower, whatever the case may be, you definitely can look up Honey Beyond Studios. And I'll put this logo up here right quick. So that way you guys know the logo. If you see them on Facebook, you see them on Instagram or whatever the case may be, holler at Cousin Sharon and Cousin Cherie. I appreciate you guys for being down with the Reach Podcast Show. And we've actually done a podcast over there. So if anybody's watching right now, you want to get a sneak peek before going over there, go to the Reach Podcast Show YouTube page. And as you can see, you can go to the website or just go straight to the address that you see scrolling at the bottom of the screen and tell them that the Reach Podcast Show sent you, and you need them to take care of you because I said so. That's the Honey Beyond Studios. Another company I like to highlight is a company, I guess, that well, no, we're gonna save them for last. We're gonna
Okay.
save them for last.
Okay.
So I have to give a huge shout out. I don't know if you know this young lady or not, but it is Brown Sugar Cafe and Books over in Katy, Texas. They had their grand opening this weekend. I was there. It was a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful time. And if you're into a Black-owned bookstore, this young lady has opened up this bookstore. It is Black-owned fully. And you can go, wrong one. You can go over there and check them out. And it is at 5330 Fry Road, 5330 Fry Road. And it is at the intersection of Fry Road and Keith Harrow. And just let them know again that the Reach Podcast Show sent you. And you just want to go over there and check out all the amazing things that they're doing. This young lady has been dealing with this vision for a long time. And for those of you who are familiar, I'll put another photo up here. You may have heard of the Katy mural. This was a mural that's on the side of the building. Before she opened, it got vandalized, and this just took off and just gave it a lot more publicity. So I just want to say yesterday was the first day of business out there at the bookstore. And so big shouts out to my girl. I'll put her picture up here right now. So big shouts out to Raven Rose White, the Black CEO and owner of the bookstore.
Congrats,
so,
Raven.
Absolutely.
Actually, I know a couple of friends that mentioned that bookstore to me, a couple of authors. And I think one of them, when he was in town for the Man Cave that night, he went over to that site. So yeah, I'm definitely going to have to get over there. Put some of my books in.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, we'll get you in touch. We have everything's done professionally too. We have an art curator. There's an art gallery over there in the back of the store. Shouts out to my man G Maddox, my man Snader. He's put all that together where all these creatives have come together. They have art in the back of the store that's for sale. Big shouts out to the indie liaison, which is the person that will get the books into the store. Dr. P, who's also my co-host on my show, the Mind Matters podcast, which, by the way, we're off this evening. We'll be back next week with season 2, episode 1. So y'all stay tuned for that. And then just a bunch of amazing people, amazing staff, family, and then of course myself. You know, I call myself the community representative because I just try to tie everybody together. We're doing some awesome things over there. They're gonna have live band, storytelling, live painting. We'll have a podcast. If you want to have a private meeting, we have room over there for you guys to rent. And most importantly, the books and the coffee and tea bar that's right there. So hours are they close Monday and Tuesday. They're open Wednesday, Thursday, Friday from 7 to 7, and then Saturday and Sunday 9 to 7. So definitely got to say huge shouts out to Raven and the whole fam over there at Brown Sugar Cafe and Books. And if you took pictures, hashtag Brown Sugar Cafe and Books or BSCAB, Brown Sugar Cafe and Books. So big shouts out to you guys, and I'll probably see y'all later on. So another thing, lastly, another company we want to highlight is the last company we represent, and we are definitely tied and connected to them, and that is Black Wall Street New Generation Mall. Big shouts out to Dr. Gray and all the amazing things and the vision that she had about opening this place. It is it is actually the first Black-owned mall here in the city of Houston, and all of the wonderful things that they're doing there. And their grand opening is this weekend.
Saturday.
It is on Saturday. Yes.
On Saturday.
And they have some wonderful things that'll be jumping off. A lot of vendors. Just check out the space, man. Our people are doing some good things.
It's nice. Dr. Ray's done an amazing job over there. There's spaces if you want to rent a co-working space or just a small office. There's some vendors there that have their businesses. So go check them out and buy some of their products and things. She has a food truck over there. She has a hookah bar over there that looks awesome. It's sexy.
Yes. Yes. Grown and sexy.
It's grown and sexy. So she has done an amazing job over there. I went over there and walked the facility and things and super excited about the grand opening on Saturday.
Absolutely. And stay tuned because we have a whole channel, a whole new thing going on for them with interviews, getting to know the company on a daily basis over there. We're putting all that together and coming together on that. And then also we're going to be, that is exactly where we're moving the Mind Matters podcast. We'll be over there every Thursday. And so just connecting with that place as well, man, I just try to stress myself and make sure we get connected with all these different businesses. So just big shouts out to Dr. Gray, everybody, all the vendors, all the merchants over there in Black Wall Street New Generation Mall. You guys are doing amazing things and we want to let people know about it.
They are.
Yes.
You know what? And we're going to have to mention that again because I'm going to hop
Absolutely.
over to my personal Facebook
Okay.
and go live there.
Okay.
And so we'll have to mention that again
Absolutely.
as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, look, guys, nonetheless, and again, appreciate all those businesses for all the wonderful things that you're doing. And we just want to let you guys know that anytime that someone is doing something, if you want to be blessed, the way to get those blessings is to do the things that you want people to do for you. So go support, like she said a minute ago, go support those different businesses, go out and support the bookstore, go out and support Honey Beyond Studios, and just support, and you'll be surprised about all the energy that you get back from the things that you're doing.
Absolutely.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
Just some good networking and meeting some great people.
Yes.
You know, personally, I am so happy we're out. I don't know. I'm besides myself.
Yes.
I'm so happy that we're out. The first event that I was out at, LaDonna Fells did it with the energy networking people, and I closed the place down.
Wow.
We were over at the Floridian Hotel downtown.
Okay.
And I'm sitting there having some wine. The wine was so delicious. You know, sometimes you have these events and they just give you the bad wine.
Yeah.
They have to get
that
out.
throw it away wine.
But they had to get stuff out that night. And so LaDonna is awesome. And so we're sitting there, and I tell the lady, I was like, so Lily, what time do you get off? You know, when are you leaving? And she's like, oh, I'm off. I'm just sitting here with you. I'm like, oh, my bad.
Whenever you be quiet, we can leave, right?
Right. I was like, well, let me finish this wine.
Yes. So, guys, we want to now just get into what we're here for. And I want to put up a couple of things. We want to formally welcome into the show and greet Joyce Johnson for the things that she's doing and learn a little bit more about her story. And we'll tap in with her. But we are here now, Ms. Joyce Johnson, and we appreciate everything that you're doing. And she is the CEO of Y Sales Network. We'll learn here in just a minute what that's all about and what she's doing. So we want to formally welcome to the camera, Ms. Joyce Johnson. And we appreciate you for being part of the Reach Podcast show. So
thank you. And so now I'm live on my Facebook page because my aunt called in. And so it just dawned on me, let me just go live to my Facebook page. And I see my cousin, Joe, on here. So Joe, call Auntie Marie and tell her she can go to my Facebook page and see this interview.
Absolutely.
So let me go to my Facebook page so my family can enjoy the interview.
Yes. So one thing I like to definitely highlight, and I like to start off with, well, first, we'll just keep it in order. So who is Joyce Johnson? I want to say again, thank you. Welcome for being to the show. But who is Joyce Johnson outside of the Y Sales Networks, this sales guru, top 25 women, blah, blah, blah? Who is this young lady, Joyce Johnson?
All that, I don't know. I don't know who she is. Yeah, I don't know. But, I always share with people, first because my family, like I said, let me go to Facebook so they can see, right? So I always share with people that I grew up in Galveston, Texas. I don't know if you knew that about me. And for those of that watching that are not in Texas area, I reside in Houston, Texas. So Galveston's about 45 minutes south of Houston. And then I graduated high school with the college at Purdue A&M University, which is an HBCU.
Is it Ball High School up there?
Ball High School.
Is that where you went?
That's where I attended.
Okay.
Yes, as I'm graduate. Ball High, BOI, born on the island. We say that in Galveston, BOI, born on the island. And so, yes, I attended Ball High School. Okay. And then I went to college at Purdue A&M University.
That's what's up.
Yes. And so Houston's been my hub, but I've also lived in the San Francisco Bay Area.
Okay.
I lived in Miami.
Wow.
I call the Bahamas my second home.
Yeah. I noticed, Galveston, San Diego, Miami, you love the water.
I love the water.
Yeah.
And I'm a Pisces.
Okay.
I don't know if that has anything to do with it.
Right.
But I do. I love the water. And when I lived in Miami, I was in a building on the 43rd floor.
Wow.
And it was nothing like watching those cruise ships come in the morning and watching that ocean. It's just a beautiful, calming thing and really just kind of give you peace. So for sure, when I retire, universe says the same, God says the same. I'll be having my own little place, probably in Galveston, though, where I grew up. We'll probably go home and have me a place on the water. So that's what's up.
Yeah. How often do you get a chance to go back to Galveston?
I sometimes my mom probably tell people she saw more of me when I lived in California. I don't know.
That's funny. Yeah.
But I was there this weekend.
Okay.
So yeah, I went home this weekend. had a little date. So I went on this weekend. He was like, so did you just want me to drive you to see your mom? I was like, well, I just can't go without seeing my mom.
Right.
And they'll say, by the way, let's go across the street to my aunt's house because my aunt lives across the street from my mom.
Okay.
And then I'm like, well, I need to stop on our way out and see my best friend.
He's scratching his head like, what's going on? What is going on?
Right. He's like, well, you just wanted to ride, but went all down Jamaica Beach and everything. A lot of great developments is happening in Galveston. And then, we like to show off the Strand and our beach and things too. So I did a little tour. I toured him a little bit.
That's what's up. What's the for the viewers and people who may have never heard of Galveston? I don't know how that happens, but or may have never been or don't know. What's the must go to spot out there in your opinion? Eating and just attraction, maybe.
So eating wise, the locals, we do go to the to the other restaurants that are there. We do our billionaire homeboy Tillman Fertitta owns a lot of his restaurants there, and we do frequent those as well. But we go to Happy Buddha, which is off 61st Street, and it's a Chinese restaurant. And those walks, they survived the Hurricane Ike, right? And so if you know anything about cast iron skillets and walks and things like that, the seasoning stay in them. Right? So you can cook your same meal in a different skillet and it's not going to be the same, right? We go to a place we used to go in high school, shrimp and stuff. We go to Queen's Barbecue. We go to Mr. Leon's Barbecue. Yeah. And so Mr. Leon's Barbecue is like voted top beef in Texas at one time. So, we go to a lot of the real originals. The originals.
Yeah, you named them all too. Well, most of them, because I know about all of those. There's definitely places you want to go to.
Absolutely. Like I had dinner when we went on Sunday at the Wharf, Seafood Wharf. The Wharf is the restaurant on the other side of the island, right? Where the cruise ships are and things. So went to that restaurant. Of course, again, I love Willie G's that's over there. Just the martinis. It ain't the
same as the Willie G's in town. I'll say that.
It's not. It's different. And I'll tell you, I love the scallops here, and they cook them different there. But as far as the seafood, the fish and things, it actually comes from the island, I'm told, which I know because the taste is different. Yeah. When they pull it out the Gulf over there in Galveston, you get a different flavor and a different taste for it. So,
absolutely.
So go visit Galveston. Go visit our town.
She said, come on, everyone. We have a viewer, Miss McGrew. Is this your aunt?
That is. That's my aunt that called you.
Yeah, absolutely. Hello. We're glad you are tuned in now. So from Galveston, Ball High School, went to Prairie View A&M. I know that was a time, anybody goes to Prairie View, that's the place to be.
It is a place to be, but I worked a lot in college. I'm just gonna put that out there. So when my friends like, oh, we're gonna go to the concert after homecoming and we're gonna do this and what have you, I was at work. I worked in the sports information department, and it was my job after the games and things to make sure all the stats and things were tallied up, that all the articles was written and sent to the media and things. So while everybody was over Frankie Beverly and Mays after homecoming, I was in the office working.
You was doing your thing, making sure they had what they needed the next morning. So
then I graduated in 3 years.
Awesome.
Yeah,
that's really good. That's unheard of most of the time. So that's definitely a good thing. So now you fast forward and you are doing your thing with the Y Sales Network. What I like to hear is like, what led you to, what was that aha moment and you were like, okay, this is what I'm doing? Is there a story behind that, or you just knew what you were doing?
It's a story behind it. It's a story behind it for sure. I've been in corporate for many years. I've been in corporate sales and leaderships. My team keep putting that 25 year out there. Now I'm like, really? Can y'all just say 20? But it's probably 25 or something for real. Because, I pledged Alpha Kappa Alpha at PV, and we're about to have our reunion this in a couple weekends. And so it might have been 25. But just been in that corporate life, and I tell people a story too. A lot of people in my family retire at the age 50, and I was like, I'm not gonna be able to retire in corporate at 50. They keep pushing it out. They're like, okay, they're like, you can retire at 55. Then they're like, you can retire at 65. Then they're like, okay, you can work until you're 72. And I'm like, no. At that, I need to be somewhere on an island in a sundress and some flip-flops, right?
Enjoying yourself, enjoying myself for a little while.
Teaching the babies, and helping them, doing whatever.
Right.
And so, been in corporate life, and I felt I wrote my book, No Back Doors for Me. I felt that although I felt like I had been experiencing like some trauma, I realized after leaving corporate, but I was pushing through and I said, I need to create something for myself.
Right.
And so in 2017, it really was like 2016, I started thinking about my brand, because in corporate, we talk about branding a lot. We talk about your corporate brand, and everything in corporate is based on what we call the PIE, the corporate PIE, PIE. That's performance, image, and exposure.
Yes.
Right. And I've always been mindful of my brand and really, just how I carry myself and how I move. And so, but I began to think I need to, all the social things and things going on. I need to take my brand from internal to external.
Let it be known.
Right. And so then I also was thinking, I'm a writer. I was a journalism student in high school and college. I've been writing, contributed to LinkedIn. So I just asked myself, what do I have to offer the universe?
Right.
And what do they need from me? And so I began to build my brand. And in 2017, I was at a conference, had an aha moment that the timing was right. And I tell people I walked out of that room and I saw my publisher. We had been seeing each other in Houston and things and befriend each other. And so I saw Darren Palmer, which everyone knows Darren Palmer is my publisher,
Darren?
right?
Yes.
What's up, Darren? Got to give Darren those shouts out, my brother from another mother. And so, I just said, hey, call me when we get back to Houston.
Right.
And in 30 days, I wrote my first book.
Wow.
Yeah. And then I did a book launch. And so I just kind of said I was going to put a book out every year. Right. And start building my brand. And so in 2019, I was in corporate. I planned on leaving corporate actually this year.
Okay. Okay.
So I kind of want to head myself that point right there. But having this conversation in corporate, and it just wasn't going the right direction. I had just been number one 2 consecutive years in sales at the national level. I was trending to be number one again. I just closed a $10 million deal. And I'm like, am I really having this conversation right now?
Right.
You know, and I was like, you know what? Offer me a package.
Yeah.
Let me see what that looks like. And I had to fast forward what I was going to do. So I took about, 6 months or so to plan it. And then I launched it in 2020 and then COVID hit. That part.
Part of my story as well. You got it all figured out and then the world shuts down.
Then the world shuts down. You're like, what the heck?
I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little Facebook Live up a little bit.
Oh, yeah, no problem.
Yeah. Make sure I'm looking more slenderizing. Yeah. Yeah. Y'all is on.
So COVID hit, it threw you off.
COVID hit and, it threw me off. But, in sales, you get hit a lot. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
And you have to have some tough skin to be in sales.
Absolutely.
It's not for it's not for the weak-hearted. And life throws you off a lot, right? So my journey had been, I'd gotten laid off from companies before, I've had to reinvent myself.
Wow.
Right.
Wow.
I've gone to when I moved to California, I tell people when I talk to young people, I moved to California, I didn't even have a job. I didn't know what I was going to do when I got to California, but I knew that Houston wasn't working for me anymore. And I knew I was talented. I knew I was smart. I knew I have the blessing of a support group and support team in my family. And in 30 days, I decided I was going to leave and I was out.
Okay. Wow. You made a hard decision. Yeah.
And the same thing in Miami.
Wow.
When the same thing, Houston just wasn't working. Things were changing and movement. And I just come off a breakup and things. I was like, you know what? I need a change of fresh air.
Yeah. Yeah.
And within 30 days, I don't take long. Once I make a decision, it's done.
That's what I was going to say. It don't take you long to go ahead and say what you're going to do.
It don't take me long. I tell people all the time, make a decision. If it don't work out, you can make another decision.
Right.
But make a decision. So so I've been throwing some balls, some curve, I've done some bobbing and weaving. And so I just said, okay, let me think about this, and just got to pivot. You just got to do what you got to do and keep it rolling.
And now you are CEO of Y Sales Network.
Yeah.
8-time author.
Yeah.
Speaker. And I want to talk about this top 25 women in sales a little bit, because a lot of people, that's all I've done is sales, stuff that's just on my own. And shouts out Mr. Washington. What's up, man? I see you. Just doing stuff on your own. People always tell me, man, I don't see how you can just work in sales. And I turn around and tell them, I don't see how you can punch a clock every day. Like that was always my thing. But I love sales. It's always what it's been for me. And what people don't realize is something that you actually experience and work through. You're thinking about the pie. You're thinking about what is my image and what is my exposure looking like? People, we sell ourselves every day. We absolutely have to sell ourselves every day. You have to sell yourself to get that job. You have to sell yourself when you're doing that job, even if you're in corporate America. And so the thing I can appreciate, and it seems like the CEO, the entrepreneur are just busting out and busting loose. And I think COVID had a lot to do with that.
Absolutely.
But the top 25 women in sales, what's that about? I mean, I know what it means, but what is that about? How did you get that?
Like I said, I began to build my external brand, and I was very deliberate about it. I have social media strategist that helps me with things. I have my own brand and look that I like to have. And people are always watching. There's always someone watching.
Absolutely.
And so I didn't know that I was going to be recognized for my work. And it was a very humbling experience. I got a phone call asking if I would give a quote.
Okay.
And first I got an email. You think it's spam.
Yeah.
Because let's be honest, you get these emails and they say, oh, you're going to be honored with this, or you can be in this newspaper, what have you. And for $14.99 to buy the book, we're going to add you, right? And I'm like, no.
Not doing that.
Not doing that.
Right.
That part right there. And so it was real, right? And this company had recognized just women who had been on the LinkedIn platform, who was making an impact in sales and things. And I was added to that list.
Yeah.
I was added to, and it felt great because, there was times in corporate when I actually was leading the pack and number one. It should have been awards that I gotten and things. And, for some reason or another, got looked over and things. And so you're just working along, you're doing the work and you're just out there, and then someone tap you and say, hey, we see you.
We see you. Yeah. That's the best part about sales too. And it's all different aspects and levels to it. For me, and with anything that I do now, it's like, I'm doing it from my heart. I'm doing it because it's a passion, and you're not looking for all of the accolades and stuff like that. And you can get caught up, and this is something I like to relate to people. Don't get caught up in what you're not getting. Get caught up in what you're doing, the services you're providing, the lives that you're changing, the hearts that you're touching. And it'll come in due time. And I think sometimes we hold ourselves back when we get caught up in what we're not getting and what we're not receiving for it. And like you say, you just keep pushing along. And that's amazing, because that has happened to me too. You just moving, and then somebody hits you, and it's like, I didn't know you were watching me. Like, okay, it gives you it gives you a new energy, which leads to the thing that I wanted to talk about first. And I'm glad we circled back to it. So I met you, it's been maybe a month now. And thanks to Dr. Gray over at Black Wall Street New Generation Mall. She said this young lady was having a breakfast and was honoring some women and this and that. Didn't know what I was going to be getting myself into, but I was like, hey, no problem, I'll pull up. And so I'd like for you to talk about those people and the event, and just I'd like to say shouts out to all those women that were in the room, also the males that were there supporting, because you have a circle of women that are powerhouses. And of course it was National Women's Month, so they showed out for that month, and just want to give you an opportunity to talk about that again. But I enjoyed it, filming that season.
And thank you for coming. Thank you for supporting us.
Absolutely.
I certainly appreciate it. And, and Dr. Gray for connecting us. And, so I said for this year, for, 2022 for Y Sales Network, I was going to be intentful about bringing together women entrepreneurs. Yeah. What I, have learned in my journey is that entrepreneurship can be a very lonely life, be a very painful life.
Yes.
It's a life where a lot of people in your space don't really understand your journey, right? Mm-hmm. And they think you're a little crazy. They're like, are you okay? My mom called me all the time. She's like, you have some money? You need money? I'm like, no, I'm good.
I'm good.
But be on standby. So,
right.
So, and things of that nature. And so I wanted to bring women together and create a cohort of that, right? Met a great person, Valda, who is with Merrill Lynch. They're going to be hosting some dinners for me. And so now I'm beginning to set up these dinners. We were working on them all year. So now we're setting up these dinners. We have some next week and the following week where we're just going to bring women together.
Gotcha.
Right? We're going to bring a small group of women together and say, basically, who do you serve and how can we serve you?
Wow.
That's the purpose of it. And then that way, as I meet other women who are doing things, I can connect people together.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
And so the theme this year is, it's our time.
Yeah.
So ladies, it's our time. And I wanted to honor that during Women's History Month, and International Women's Day was actually March 8th. So that was the actual day, but you guys, that was my birthday. So yeah, it wasn't happening on my birthday. So we had it towards the end of the month. And again, just wanted to celebrate women. I see that Biju's on here. Biju, I owe you your plaque. She didn't make it that day, but wanted to honor women who have been doing services in Houston area. Sometimes we look at all our big fish and they get honored all the time.
Right.
And so I wanted to just the women that get up every day, those entrepreneurs that's showing up every day and doing a great job. Biju's responsible for my looks.
Okay. That's what's up.
She's over at Motherland African Hair Braiding.
Okay.
I think I got that right. Biju, don't kill me.
Yeah.
It's off of OST and Scott area.
Put it in the comments, Biju.
Yeah,
that's how you do that. Put it in the
Biju.
comments.
Put it in the comments. I see you there.
And I want to say good morning to Jay. That's the lady that was there with me. That's my baby.
Okay.
Good morning, Jay. We appreciate you tuning
Jay.
in.
And my cousin Hope is on, and Coach Ronnie Arrow is on. I know my cousin Joe was on, my Aunt Lillian. I can't see everybody everywhere, but but thank you guys for popping on.
Right.
And so then also Kimberly Lotz, who
Yes.
I've known for many years, and she'd always wanted to have her own business and work from home because she was a single mom, and she started a daycare and get there into a multi-million-dollar business.
Yeah.
So excited for her. LaDonna Philmans.
Before you go on, I want to say Ms. Lotz, because we connected, we talked a little bit. I haven't forgot you. I got to contact her. She wants to do a little interview. We can definitely still do that. So
okay, definitely.
But yeah, I remembered that name when you said it for all the things she's doing. So yeah,
her daycare, lots of learning.
Yes.
Academy, and Fort Bend area.
Yes.
And it's amazing. I watch the kids on Instagram all the time. They give me life. Those kids give me life.
Yeah.
And Kim also has lots of motivation. And so, just wanted to honor those women and say that we see you. Like the guy said when he saw me, right? Because I know how that feels when someone sees you.
Yep.
And so just wanted to say to them, we see you and we honor you, right? So
yeah,
that's why we had that event.
That's amazing. That is amazing. And so also the 8-time author, I know you said, was it 17 you wrote your first book?
Yes.
Okay. And now we're an 8-time author.
Yes.
What are these books about? What are we doing with these books?
Oh my gosh. I started with my first book being for my college babies, because I love mentoring college students. I often say they're my favorite people in the world, outside my nieces. But I love that generational wise. I love college students and being able to talk with them, mentor them, and mold them to go from college life to work life, right? Mm-hmm. And so wrote my first couple of books were focused on them. Okay. Why sales for me, right? Mm-hmm. And why I do sales is because, and promote sales and built a business around sales is because sales is the only profession in my eyes that no matter what your background is or your education, your training, you can go sell.
Absolutely.
And get in the right place and space and earn really great money year over year, right? You can get a sales job and earn $100,000 your first year. So
you create your own lane too.
You create your own lane. If you're a plumber and you can't physically do plumbing anymore or something like that, go sell some plumbing equipment for a plumbing company, supply company, right?
Or even sales training. Like I don't mean to cut you off, but I'm picking up on everything because like sales is my background. I love how you tied all this together. We were talking about the books and then you went right into, everybody can see it, your business coach, and that's what your books was about.
Yes.
And then also being a speaker and talking to people about sales and how they can make things happen for them. That is the biggest thing about sales. You create your own lane. Nobody can fire you. Nobody can fire you.
You create your own lane. Even when you work for someone else, you work for yourself.
Absolutely.
Right? You said, and my leadership can never give me a goal larger than what I'm going to set for myself, right? Because my goal is always going to be based on how I can take it to that next level. Mm-hmm. I share people, if you was a nursing student, you don't pass boards or whatever, you can go sell medical equipment, medical supplies, pharmaceuticals, right? You're an attorney, you don't want to work in law anymore. You can go and work for a company and sell into that vertical market. I've sold into 10 different vertical markets, right? I've sold into oil and gas, pharmaceuticals, education, local government, so you can work in that vertical market.
Yeah.
And sales allow us to do that. But we have gotten this fear of the word sales and people giving it a bad connotation, bad name
Run from it,
because a few people. We don't dog out the medical profession because a few bad doctors out there, do we?
Right.
But they want to send the salespeople,
Yeah.
Never mind. So, they want, and people are so afraid of sales, but everything in the global economy begins with the sell.
Absolutely.
And and you got these entrepreneurs start businesses. They got a social media plan, right? Supply chain plan, marketing plan. This one don't have a sales plan.
Yeah. And you need it. That's the first thing you need
it
to figure out how you're gonna
stuff on my way.
Absolutely.
Don't tell them what's there.
Man, listen, I'm gonna just say, I was about to say it and I know better. So the space, if you're ever fortunate enough to be in the space she has going on in here, it's exactly what we should do. It's all the things that we're taught as salespeople, writing things down and having a vision and boards and all of this and all that. But I would never give up your secret, so you don't have to worry about that. But I'm seeing live what you're doing, and we can definitely appreciate that. So to the books and then also the business coaching, because I know you have written more. I guess explain a little bit more about that.
So the first one again, why sales for college students. The second one was top 10 sales tips for college grads. And that's because I'm sitting in corporate America and I'm just thinking, gosh, we're so tired of people just showing up with their ID and their social security card. And I wanted to give college students a plan. I wanted to give them a roadmap to success.
Yes.
How to prepare for that interview, how to prepare for that job, how to show up on that job, right? How to show up on that job. In that book, it gives and anyone can take this book really, because Darren have told me I need to repurpose it,
right.
Because it has a how to write a 90-day plan in there, and what you need to do in those 90 days, right?
Yes.
So it's a learning, book, so a teaching book as well. And so then I have what's one of the books, Why Sales for Athletes. Right. And that's because I think athletes are great salespeople. They have these natural, innate, influence, right, over people. They're just their
slap
style,
their face
how
on it. They selling products.
Right.
Yeah.
And so sales is a process.
Yeah.
And once you learn that process, and I'm teaching that now in my boot camps, once you learn that process, hey, you can win.
Yes.
So why sales for athletes? I wanted athletes to understand that, hey, this is a lane for you. When you leave college, everybody's not going to the NBA. Everybody's not going to the NFL.
Absolutely.
It's 2%. So what is the 98% doing?
Yes.
Because they still want to win.
Yes.
They still want to work at that big level. And the best way for athletes to do that is to go get them a job in sales and start getting those 6-figure salaries, right?
Yeah.
So that they can take care of themselves and maintain that lifestyle that they're used to as being those big men on campus, right?
Absolutely.
And big women on campus. And so, so books on interviewing and I wrote a book on my personal life, No Back Doors for Me, and my journey in corporate and things that I have that has impacted me, good, bad, and ugly. Put some truths in there.
Okay.
And then also hopefully gave people some skills on how they can also overcome those things.
That's amazing. So what platforms, how do we get those books? Where do we go and find them?
I have an author page on Amazon, so they can go to Amazon and get my books. You can also go to I Am Joyce Johnson, www.iamjoycejohnson.com. That's probably go there, and it'll link you to Amazon for the books that are Amazon, and the ones that are ebooks, you can just download them right there on the site.
Absolutely, man. We don't even have to have a whole class here right now.
Yeah.
You have written the books. The information is there.
Yeah.
And one thing I like to say with me being involved with this whole bookstore opening, you want to hide stuff from Black people, they say, put it in the book. We defied all those options. all of those obstacles. And here we are again talking about stuff. So pick up the book, learn what you need to learn, and just follow the game plan, because you have obviously written it out and allowing people to learn from your experience, and then also giving the blueprint to things all in sales. So I like to appreciate you for that. And you mentioned boot camp. So we got to put this flyer up and let's talk about the boot camp. Let's do that now.
Let's talk about the boot camp. So the boot camp is a 4-week program, 6 steps to closing more business. Throughout my career, I've worked with some of the largest brands in the world, right? And so I say I've sold on behalf of the largest companies in the world to the largest companies in the world. I've always had that sweet spot where I found myself selling in that global international customer space, getting in and closing those deals early in my career. And so the deals that I close are multi-million-dollar deals. And then there are also multi-year deals.
Mm.
And I want to teach people how to do that, right? Because it is a skill set, right?
Yeah.
I think I took it for granted for a long time, and then when the interview process came up for the top 25 women, and they were just saying, you know, what was your aha moment when you were in these rooms and you're the only one, right? Mm-hmm. You're the only woman, you're the only person of color, and things like that. And I told them, I said, you know, one day what allowed me to be okay with it, because I was, you know, I was struggling. And what allowed me to be okay with it was I thought to myself, I'm here because I'm just that damn good.
That's a good way to talk to you. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, that part right there, right?
I deserve to be here.
Because I was in a conversation with this guy, Bob, and he was just hammering me and, you know, in my company, challenging me on every single thing. And I said, Bob, look at me. Look at me.
Right.
And he's like, well, I was like, look at me. Right. I'm like, if I wasn't good, I wouldn't be here.
Yeah, it's me, Bob. Absolutely.
And when I realized that, I was like, I had my aha moment.
Yeah.
Right? Had my aha moment. So
no back doors.
No
leads back to that.
No back doors. And, you know, no back doors, to be honestly, haven't talked about that book in a while. It's my only book that's also on Audible.
Okay.
And so they can go to Audible and download that book and hear my voice because I read it myself.
What's up.
So no back doors to me really just tells my challenges as, you know, the first and only person in a room often, many times. And, you know, and I tell her about my mom told me when I was growing up how she went to one of her favorite places to eat. And they said, you got to go to the back door, gal, you know, or something like that. And she's like, oh, no, not today.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
And so I relate to that because I said after that, it was just no back doors for me. Right. You know, they can put me some back doors, they can put some doors, some ceilings, whatever. But I was just determined to kick them in, kick them down, whatever, walk through them. And the irony of that was, although I had that in the back of my mind that I'm fighting through this, I'm representing and stuff. The irony of it is that I was being treated still like I was at the back door doing my corporate life.
Right.
That was the irony of that. And it was painful for me. And I didn't realize until after I left corporate. And so I worked in diversity and inclusion, you know, just as volunteering in corporate. I was vice president of the African American Business Resource Group. I worked with the Women's Resource Group, the Hispanic Resource Group, and veterans.
Right.
And so I was going through my diversity program at Cornell University because I have a certificate in diversity and inclusion from Cornell University. And it takes you through some questions, right? And you got to be honest with yourself. Yep. You can't fluff it.
Yep.
And I was sharing I've shared before that I think I was just cried for like 3 days. I was like in my room, in my bed, you know, in my house for 3 days, just realizing that was trauma for me.
Right.
And that's when I decided to write that book and share those stories, because I said, if I was feeling that way, some other people was feeling that way also.
Yeah, most definitely. And you took it and ran with it though. That's a good thing. And that's where, and shouts out to Kim Lott. She's on there. So it was
hey Kim, we were just talking about you.
About it, yeah.
So you can get your interview done.
Absolutely. So to realize that position and to write about it, when you first did it, was it more of a self thing, like getting it out and expressing, or did you deliberately like write it for other people that may have been experiencing that?
It was a combination.
Okay.
It was a combination because when you're a leader in a corporate organization, right? And leader doesn't always mean title or whatever. Right. So I've been a leader in every space that I'm in, right? Yeah. I'm just that person that people are going to go to. They're going to feel comfortable talking to and sharing. And so one of the things I realized was that I was holding on to so many other people's stories, right? Because people came to me and I couldn't tell anyone what they were saying. Right. I had to hold it in confidence. Right. Yeah. And so not only was I carrying my own pain, but I was carrying their pain
other
too.
People, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I still don't know if I've gotten through it. You know, I was just thinking the other day, like, I got to find a way to work through all my trauma, all my grief, right. All of the brokenness so that I can still give my best self to the world.
Right.
You know, and so it was both. It was to write it for other people. And right after I wrote it, I had a friend of mine call me, and not after I wrote it, it's actually because her story's in the book. Before I wrote it, I started writing it, and then I added her story to the book. And I forget how long it was we were on the phone, but it was hours that we were on the phone. And I put exactly the time. I remember taking a screenshot of the time that we had been on the call. And she started crying to me. She said, "Why wasn't I enough?"
Wow.
And I said, "You were enough."
Right.
Shame on them.
Yeah.
You were enough.
Yeah.
And one of my good friends, Cindy, she just texted me this morning and she said, "You are enough."
That's awesome. That's awesome. Wasn't even expecting that text.
No.
And it just
text
happens.
me this morning, say, "You are enough."
Yes. So, man, the storyline is amazing. So when people seek you out, and again, we'll put the boot camp flyer. So to get into like what you do you help that individual sole owner, small business? Are you strictly helping larger businesses when it comes to your business coaching and stuff like that? What can people get from you?
Yeah.
Or, what can they expect?
Well, I'll even through my corporate career, I help some small business owners create a sales strategy for their business, help them interview people, identify people are just uncomfortable with sales, right? So you start a business because you want to be an entrepreneur, you want to monetize a hobby, you want to solve a problem. And but then they get stuck with the sales part. You get lucky, you get some sales because you got a network or whatever. But then when it comes to really selling, when the rubber hit the road, you got to know the process.
When it's the wrong season and stuff slows down. That's one thing about sales. There is up and downs, and you got to learn how to strategize and save your money and all that. But yeah, go ahead.
all that. And so I've always helped it. So one of the things I do is, right now is consult myself out as a vice president of sales for people, a functional vice president of sales for their companies.
Gotcha.
So I have a gentleman that I'm just beginning to start working with, where I'm going to go in and do all the interviewing and the recruiting, the hiring. I'm going to help. I'm going to create the comp plan for him, right, for his team. And I've done this before in the past. I'm going to create the comp plan, manage, his team process, create the sales flow for them from beginning to the end for the customer experience. And so that's what I do in helping entrepreneurs and small business owners. And then also, like I said, train people through the boot camp of learning the sales process, whether they are working for a company, they're an entrepreneur solo working for themselves, or small business owners, anyone who wants to learn the sales process. That's what the boot camp is for. I do have a master class that I do for business owners and entrepreneurs that really helps them understand how to create their strategy, why forecasting is important, funnel building. These words because you're in sales that everyone else may not. So I'm not going to bore you guys with it. But I help them really understand that and understand how to inspect what they expect.
Yes. That became a cliche statement, but it is absolutely the truth.
It is, and setting goals and targets, because you can't hit a goal that doesn't exist.
Yes.
Right? You can't hit it if it doesn't exist. I know in my business this year, I want to be able to train 284 people. There's a reason for that. And that's because I had the end goal and then I backed the numbers through. Right. And so I remember talking to a coach about it. And it's like, well, it's kind of aggressive. You just built your training program, right? How to win in sales, my sales training program that I created. And I'm like, yeah, I know. But, hey, if I fall short, I fall short. But if I make it because I'm focused on that goal, right?
It's an accomplishment.
Then we're winning.
Yeah. And what's up, Mom? Take time out to say hi. That's my mom. Just
hi there.
In. Yeah, that is. And we're talking about sales, Ms. Joyce Johnson, for the people who are just joining in. And so with that process, they can reach out to you. You can come in and do everything that you just said. And then do you help smaller business, maybe like one or two, that maybe just the owner or one or two people? Do you help those type of businesses as well?
Absolutely. That, like I said, I have the master class for them. I have the boot camp that's perfect for them as well.
Let's put that back.
I do a morning sales tips show on Clubhouse every morning from 9 to 9:30, where I just give sales tips. Today we talked about when the customer says they're going with the competition, right? What happened then, right? Was we aware that they were going with the competition? Did we find out, right? And so the free webinar I do, how to close $1 million deal, basically all that is folded into that boot camp. And that boot camp could be great for anyone, right? You can be a sales director, but you just need to get some secret sauce or learn something new, coach your team differently, and need some tips.
Yes.
And that boot camp is, kind of like the catch-all for everyone.
Yes. And that is April 19th. So you definitely want to attend that if sales is something that you desire to do or are doing, or you need to reboost, revamp, you definitely want to tap into that. So one of my questions as a salesperson is, for you, what's the most important thing about sales to understand as a salesperson? What do you need to know when it comes to selling?
That you're building relationships. Yeah, that you're building relationships and building lifetime relationships.
Yeah.
Right. And for as big as the world is, it's small, right? Because you'll leave one company, you go, and I've left one company before and had a meeting with a customer and then started with another company 2 weeks later and went in to meet that customer. And they're like, and I went from like my maiden name to the married name and things. So threw them off completely.
Throw them off. Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm like, come on, it's only one Joyce. Put your Team Joyce t-shirt on. Put your Team Joyce t-shirt on.
It's me.
It's me.
That's your new thing. It's you.
It's me.
Yes. And I definitely believe in that. And for people who understand sales, what I'm getting to is exactly what you said, but in one word, it's referrals. And referrals are a lifetime deal. 90 to 95% of my business was off of repeat and referral business.
Absolutely.
Because you have to create that level of expectation that they know is me. They ain't gonna get it nowhere else. Only you can do it. Only you can make them feel good about it. So I absolutely agree with you on that. And in regards to the product,
relationships get you those referrals.
Absolutely.
Right. When you build those strong relationships, that get you those referrals.
Absolutely. And you have to ask for them too. That's another thing. You have to ask for them, but you don't. I'm not trying to take over here, but you don't earn the right to ask for it unless you've done your job. That's the one thing that I like to say. But when it comes to the product, what do you say about that? Knowing your product.
You know what? We were in one of the clubhouse rooms and I share with them, even on the webinar the other night, how to close $1 million deal. I don't really focus on product. I don't sell product. I don't sell, I've sold products, services, technology. I focus on solving a problem. What's the problem for the customer? Right? What keeps them up at night? What's their pain points? And then I find the right product, service, and technology to input there.
Absolutely.
But I don't start in talking about products. When I was in corporate, and the whole supply chain and things, and we're helping customers, they're like, oh, we're selling them these products, PPE and this, that, and no.
Yeah.
Never have those. Never.
Does it even address the problem?
No, because it doesn't. They may really need something else, which I've been able to uncover other things for my customers because I'm asking, what keeps you up at night? Yeah. Right.
Absolutely.
So I don't focus on product. Of course, I'm gonna know my product. I'm gonna know my company. I'm gonna know the offer, but that's not the conversation I'm having with the customer.
Absolutely. You hit the nail on the head. I'm throwing stuff out there that's coming back to my mind, and you're absolutely killing it. Yeah. And product is important, like you say, to know, but you absolutely got to know what product to give them. But you got to do that by listening and understanding what they're missing and, just what makes sense for them. And you can only do that if you ask the right questions and you're listening. Because the wrong salesperson does all the talking.
All the talking. Yeah. I tell you, I used to sell fiber, right? Fiber that goes in the ground and things. I sold my first fiber deal and I still didn't understand what it was.
Wow.
Right. But I understand how to manage customer relationships.
Right.
And I understood that I had a technical guy aligned to me. And so whenever I went to customers, I would tell them, this is my technical guy. He's like my Amex card. I don't leave home without him.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And I have my questions that I ask to manage the relationship, my engagement questions and things. And then I have that person that specializes in the products. And most companies have that.
Right.
Large companies, anyway, I'll say that. Small companies, we're going to get there. We're going to help you guys get there. But large companies, they have those resources for you. So I just took in my resource people until I figured it out. And one day I just had an aha moment on what it was.
Right.
But I sold a whole lot of it and had some really good comp checks before I ever really realized what it was.
Yeah. And I mean, again, you're solving the problem, though. And that's the amazing thing. And something else you just covered. Is you don't have to have all the answers to all the questions, but you provide either the resource or you let them know you will get it, that type of thing. So impressed by having a live person, coming out with you. That's having a team and understanding that whole deal. Yes, ma'am.
See you a little bit. Say hi to my Facebook.
What's going on, people? What's going on?
Facebook page.
Absolutely.
I'm just trying to get it in. They make the screen so skinny where you can see everybody. Absolutely.
And shout out to you guys for tuning in and watching her on Instagram. We appreciate that. Yeah. And while we're talking about Instagram, I see Facebook, all of y'all on the Reach Podcast Show Instagram. Shouts out to y'all.
Hey,
and then our Facebook and our YouTube listeners. We appreciate you guys.
I went to my personal Facebook page.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what are some things? This is a time where I like to turn it over to you.
I am Joyce Johnson Facebook page. Jasmine gonna text me about that one.
Yeah, absolutely. What are some things you like to cover that are just, on your mind, on your heart that you'd like to share to people? If it's about what you're doing or just, anything that you want to share with the listeners?
Mainly just I want people to get over the fear of sales, right? And again, if I can get that one message out is that, sales is the only profession that offers something for everyone.
Yes.
Again, no matter what your background and training is, if you've been laid off or what have you, you can go and retrain in sales. Come to my boot camp, and go get you a sales job in an industry that you're knowledgeable of. I was working with a young woman this week who has a human resources background, HR, right? And she had been laid off and she tried to do some consulting on her own. She's ready to go back to corporate. And so she's wanting to go into sales.
Okay.
And so I've been talking to her and training her about how to go sell HR packages, right?
Wow.
ADP, I should mention, ADP is a partner of Y Sales Network. ADP, my business, oh my goodness. Another story I'm share.
Absolutely.
ADP is a payroll company that she could definitely work for, right? Because she's been in human resources and she understands what business owners need from that perspective. And so ADP, I'm a small business diversity partner. Y Sales Network is of ADP.
Congratulations to that.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. When you talk about what I was saying earlier, you asked me about the top 25 women. That's another thing that happened. I'm driving in my car. I've been calling companies when I started my business to get them to be a partner of Y Sales Network. And, it could be because I was new, because it was COVID. People weren't focused. They didn't really have their strategy and plan, whatever, But I'm driving down the street in my car and I get a phone call and it comes through the car and I can't see who the call is coming from, but I go ahead and answer it. Normally I don't, but I went ahead and answered that day. And the girl said, this is Chelsea from ADP. I'd like to talk to you about your business, Y Sales Network. We have a small business diversity program. And I'm like, is this a joke?
Right.
Someone,
who sent you?
Right. Yeah. Like, am I being punked?
Right.
It's just, and so we began to talk over some months and things of that nature. And now I am a small business diversity partner for ADP.
Congratulations to that. That doesn't just happen every day. That is awesome.
That doesn't happen every day.
Yeah, you were mindful enough to answer that phone call. That's a good thing.
Yeah. And so I'm working with them now to be able to find some women leaders in this market to be able to help me with my dinners that I'm doing for women and for, my breakfasts I do for women. I'm also working on a retreat in October. When I first launched my business, my goal for my company was to have my conference in the Bahamas every year.
Okay.
Yeah, and on different islands. I told you this is my second home.
Yes.
And so, I think it's time.
Right.
I think it's time. I think it's time to go back to the Bahamas. Last year we went to Mexico and we did our authors retreat and workshop in Mexico, and that went great. But I think it's time for us to go to the Bahamas. And so shout out to Million White, who just been a great supporter and someone that believes in the vision and a mentor. He's going to help me put all that together. Oh, I know I owe you a phone call if he's watching because he's on my face. Okay, so I owe a phone call from yesterday. I got overwhelmed when I saw my messages earlier. So I'll be returning those calls. But yeah, so it's time. We're gonna go to Bahamas. You need to come and do the podcast live.
I'm down with it. I'm down with it. All we have to do is get logistics together. I am definitely down with it. That'll be an early birthday gift because my birthday is November 11th. So
okay.
I'm down with it.
Awesome.
Let's make it happen.
Sagittarius, baby. Okay. That's Scorpio.
No, Scorpio
right?
for me. Yeah,
that's
Scorpio
right.
for
Scorpio.
me. Yeah, we won't get into that conversation. No. But no, that's amazing. And then to just have the goal and stick to it and just speak it into existence. That's another thing about sales. We are very active people and proactive. That's a huge thing. But what are some, I guess, basics for people that, it's not too serious things that you can just tell a person that's interested in sales or feel like they're struggling or at the end of the rope and ready to give up? What would you say to that individual?
I share people, my mentees and people I mentor all the time, get up, show up, and follow up. I don't want to make it seem that simple, but if nothing else, get up, show up, and follow up, right? Because I have those days when, it's a struggle. We all have those days of struggle, whatever. But get up, show up, and follow up. And something's bound to happen. Yeah. Right? Yeah,
has to.
And I say that you could be having a bad sales day, a bad sales month, but that can be in any job. That's why I don't want people to get. That's why I keep telling you that can be in any job. So you may as well be in sales and get paid. Let's be clear, right?
Write your own check is what they used to say for us.
That's what they say. Write your own check. How much you want?
Yep.
Go for it.
Yep.
And so, get up, show up, and follow up. It's tough some days for all of us, right? And we all have those, those moments. I couldn't go to sleep last night. My mind was running. Probably went to bed fell asleep probably about 3:30 in the morning, right? Wow. I got up initially first at 5:30, and I was like, yeah, no.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, no. So when I crawled out of bed about 6:15 or something like that, and I was talking myself out of going to the gym, but I went and worked out.
Yep.
Talked to you after I left the gym. And so just get up, show up, and follow up.
Yeah.
Make something happen.
It'll change the course of your day. It'll with those
change the course.
3 simple things, and dumbing down even more. Everybody every day has 2 things: a chance and an opportunity. It's all about what you do with that chance and that opportunity every day, because you can make your own choice to do whatever. But those are some definitely amazing tips and amazing things that you're talking about. And the Y Sales Network, as far as all of the different things that you're doing with that, is that just encompassing all the stuff that we talked about, or is there more for us to know about Y Sales Network?
Gosh, Y Sales Network has so much going on. I didn't just, like I said, I started thinking about this in 2016. I really became intentful about building my brand in 2017. So it has different, what I call profit centers for Y Sales Network. One of those is the training program that I've created. I actually went into studio and videoed my training program.
Okay.
I didn't want it to have a bunch of, Zoom videos.
Right.
So it was actually during COVID. I traveled and I went and I recorded the training.
Okay.
And so that's one piece of it. It has online courses, 6 online courses, plus the masterclass and now the boot camp. And that people can go and learn, whether it's prospecting, appointment setting, proposing, closing, customer experience, all those different things. And so that's one area that really working to promote right now. And so then I do the boot camp, all that's in the training lane. I want to get back to the event space.
Yeah.
The event space is what I launched initially during COVID. So that didn't work out. So at that point, I'm like, oh, maybe I should have started the training.
Right.
The training was second. And then the third piece of it is that consulting piece, the part where I am contracting out myself as vice president of functional vice president of sales for companies and giving them 20 hours of my time a month to help them.
I think that's really cool. I really think that's cool. Yeah.
And so, and I'll be training the trainers, right? As I continue with the master class, I want to do the boot camp myself. Like I think if I'm going to do anything forever myself and touch the business, it'll be the boot camp because I love it.
On all these islands.
I haven't even started it yet, but I planned it out so well that it's going to be fire.
I know that's right.
That's all I'm saying.
And then you're going to be on the islands too.
That's all I'm saying, right? And the boot camp is virtual, but the Women Entrepreneurship Breakfast, I want to get back to the event space, right? Getting the right sponsors. So if you're interested in, aligning your business with women and promoting women, because it's our time.
Yes.
As I said, that's theme this year, it's our time.
Yes.
But so there's the event space of the business, there's the training space of the business, the consulting space. And honestly, that consulting space is going to run into like a staffing recruiting space.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. And so I'm doing some things in that space right now to make that happen.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So you're building the whole cohort, as you say, and you'll be giving them the training from the bottom up, and then they have an opportunity to actually still be with you to get placed at jobs. I mean, that you can't beat that. To
get placed in jobs. And then for the entrepreneurs and business owners that I work with, I'll have the people there that are trained. They can be confident in the people that they're being trained, and they're being trained the right way.
Right. Right.
The right way.
That's important.
Right. That's important. Right. And they, and I did, and they know that I carried the bag, as we say, right? You've been in sales, you carried the bag. A lot of people, I was being bullied on LinkedIn by some guys who are in sales. Yeah. And so, and I'm just, they're like debating everything I was saying in this one room and thing. And I'm like, oh my goodness. And it was not a good experience for me.
Wow.
And so, but what stopped it was I just said, let me look at their profiles. Let me see who these guys are, what's going on, what have you. And I'm like, oh, I see you went through sales training. Yeah. And love John Maxwell, love him, and things like that. But you went through training, you went got certified training. This is what I do.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So this is what I do. And I've done it for many years at a very high level.
Right.
Right. And so that's what they're going to get from me. They're going to get someone that's done it.
Mm-hmm.
And understand it. I've done it from leadership role. I've started 3 businesses. This isn't my first business, so I understand it from entrepreneurship space as well. And I'm an entrepreneur now, so I get it.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to be able to help the individuals get training and help them find jobs, and the employers get their sales process in line, their sales strategy, and find the right people.
Absolutely. Man, that is amazing. And that's funny. You say, oh, y'all got the training, because that is a different outlook on it when you think about it. So in closing, the mantra that you're going by now, it's our time. Let's talk to your women. Let's talk to the ladies who are watching you, and, they had a seed planted a few months ago or a couple years ago, or they're really thriving. They're building themselves up to get to the position of really starting this business, or they're in a position where, hey, I should go back to corporate America. What are you saying to those ladies?
Whatever you do, don't win alone and don't lose alone. Right? When we're winning, we're normally winning because we have a team of people supporting us.
Yeah.
And the hardest thing sometimes to do, I know for myself, is to ask for help, or even to find the right person to ask for help. And that's why I'm putting these small groups together. And that's why we're going to be going and having these dinners, right? So that I can create a cohort of who we go to ask for help.
That's strong circle.
But don't win alone and don't lose alone. I know it gets painful sometimes. It gets painful for me sometimes. Sometimes it gets a little scary. Sometimes it gets a little scary for me. I know that it's a big investment financially. I was listening to something by Tyler Perry and saying how he slept in his car. And also, oh my goodness, I can't believe her name is escaping me right now. The lady that owns Radio 1.
Oh, you would say I can't think of her name either.
Okay.
But I know who you're talking about.
Yeah,
you can Google that.
Yeah, my goodness. Just seeing what both of them said, they slept in their cars and things like that. And, thank God, I have a roof over my head, things like that. And hopefully it won't come to that. But we do have to be willing to stay the course. Right. And it gets tough at times. And, but we have to stay the course, find a support group, a support team that, like I said, don't lose alone. Right. Don't win alone. Take somebody with you. In your business, find partners that can help you.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
The whole thing about being a functional vice president of sales came from a gentleman who wanted me to do it for his customer.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, okay, I got that. Let me go and put a brochure together. And so it's like, because I was doing it, but he defined it.
Wow.
Right. So he defined it for me. And so, hey, just keep going. It's a journey, but it can be a challenging journey, but it's definitely worth having.
Absolutely. Man, you have done it today. We appreciate you.
I want to say hey to Eddie,
yes.
Miss Velma, Michelle. Hey there. Haven't seen Michelle in a while. She's in Florida.
Yes.
We used to really hang out in Florida and sit at the hot tub and have beverages. Kim, Coach Ronnie Arrows, love him. That's another. I do a lot of stuff in sports. You probably don't know that. So, but
I'm picking up on it though.
Yeah, picking up on it. Yeah,
picking up on it.
Coach Ronnie
started in college with the stats.
One of my basketball heroes, my auntie Lillian, and all of the people that are there watching on all these different platforms. Let me get to all the cameras, the Instagram folks, my Facebook,
and we appreciate it, because I was about to say, you don't know how meaningful this was, but you obviously know, right? This is why you're doing it. But The information is definitely needed, and it's just like, hey, Jatan, what's going on? This is another independent owned, black owned company, husband and wife. She says this is great information, and they own Mo Better Boxing over in A-Leaf. Okay. And man, when you talk about the youth and pouring into the youth, they are really doing that. She is the behind the scenes person and keeps that place going. Yeah. And it's important, to understand your role too is another thing we could talk about. But I just wanted to say I can appreciate it and definitely respect it. Yes. And being a woman and being an African-American woman in sales, that's hard enough within itself. But to have the wherewithal about yourself to know that, hey, it's me, and to know you got it. Yeah. That's something you have to own. And you definitely have to own your space in sales, own everything that you're doing.
You got to own your space in this world. Yeah, and like I said, and it wasn't always that in sales for me because, no matter how well you're performing, what you're doing, what you bring in, there's sometimes just that environment, environment and challenges there, still saying you're not good enough, right? You're not good enough. You're not. And so, eventually you have to tell yourself you're good enough and you have to, own it and go that way. And I also want to say to the Houston HBCU Alumni Association, because I do some work with them, and they routed high school this weekend, which I love to go to the high school as well and work with those kids and those college programs. And I didn't get a chance as I was sick last week, so I was still kind of getting my strength back. But they do amazing work, so I just want to give a shout out to them as well. Miss Veronica Johnson, she's amazing.
Absolutely. And we're gonna revisit a couple things. First thing is going to be your boot camp. We've mentioned it a few times. I'm gonna put it up on the screen.
Ready for the boot camp.
Yes. So tell them all about the boot camp again.
Yeah, go to ysalesnetwork.com/training. You can sign up for the boot camp there. It's on our Learn World platform where I host all of my online trainings. And you click on boot camp, it'll show you what the package offer is. It's 4 weeks of training, 1 night a week, 90 minutes. We're going to really dive into your business. And when you leave there, you're going to understand what it takes to close $1 million deal. That part right there.
Absolutely.
Right?
That part.
And that part. And you're going to understand the sales process. You're going to understand how your pitch. We're going to do the DISC assessment with you guys to help you understand your personality and how you relate to other personalities to help you be a more effective salesperson. Yeah. So, we're going to start it from beginning to end, from the finding the prospects, where to find those $1 million customers, down to asking for the business and the customer service.
Awesome. Yeah. Awesome. And then, of course, our fam, I guess I would say, and our associates over at Black Wall Street New Generation Mall. I want to put that up one more time. Saturday. I know you wanted your people on Facebook to hear about it, but we'll put this address here up on the screen. We want you guys to go out and show your support for them as well. The grand opening will be the grand opening will be from 12 to 4. So we want you guys to pull up, show up, and have a good time. Yes. And, just check out all of the different things that they have going over there. And we'll put the address up here too. It is 9725 Richmond Avenue. And it is the Black Wall Street New Generation Mall. They are doing some amazing things, and you'll have a good time. And I know we said 12 to 4, of course, you see on the flyer, they have something going on at 11, hosted by Magic 102. Just get out there and get into what they have going on. They have a nail salon spa that they're working on. I don't think that's done yet. They are going to be building the club. They have 60 plus vendors and merchants in the mall area. They also have a bistro/lounge over there, and that is open. Yes. So you definitely want to get out there. It's a new place to be grown and sexy, right? And get acquainted with all the different things. And it's definitely a great place to network. I will definitely network. Yeah, absolutely want to say that. So
and thank them again for helping out and sponsoring out with the Y Sales Network Women Entrepreneurship breakfast that we had, and sponsoring the part of the award giving.
Yes, absolutely. And then lastly, one more time, for a good friend of mine, Ms. Raven Rose, for all of you guys who are interested in our book heads, as I would say it, you want to get to Katy, Texas, and get to Brown Sugar Cafe and Books. And it is at 5330 Fry Road. And then I also put up how you can follow them.
Right.
And when you go in, let them know that the Reach Podcast Show sent you. And you heard that they have some great deals and stuff going on. But no, just go over there and check out all the amazing things that they have going. You'll have a really, really, really great time. It is not your ordinary bookstore. I will say that. You won't even realize that you're in a bookstore. You'll think it's just another space for you to indulge in everything that they have. But any last words?
You know what? This is funny. Yes,
Okay.
You said brown sugar. All of a sudden, I have the D'Angelo song on. Brown
Yes.
sugar, baby.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And they have a bunch of great indie vibes, and just music is wonderful. It's a vibe, I'll just say that. So you guys definitely want to go and check it out. And we want to say thank you to Miss Joyce Johnson. We appreciate the conversation.
I appreciate it. Thanks for coming to, my home office to do this.
Absolutely.
As, guys, see, I have my banner here, and so, thank you for doing that and for interviewing me. And hopefully something was said or done today to really inspire someone, to help someone. You guys can reach out to me on all my pages and social channels at I am Joyce Johnson. And, if anything I can do to help personally or professionally, let me know. And hey, sign up for that boot camp.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Check her out. Everything is scrolling right there at the bottom of the screen. The link tree, I wanted to put that up too. I know you have your link tree. So I guess you can catch everything she has going on there.
Yes, you
that
can.
Is something that you guys want to do. And let's address these last little comments before we get out of here. So my mom says, beautiful setup. We appreciate that. And Ms. Lillian, that's your aunt again, right?
That's my aunt.
Yeah.
Thank you, Auntie Lillian.
Absolutely. Absolutely, ladies. And in the words of Ms. Johnson, it's y'all's time. That's what she says. It is y'all's time to shine.
Ladies. It's
Absolutely.
our time.
You got to grind first. Grind, then shine.
We know how to grind. Women know how to grind. We're the hardest working people in the world.
Yes. And I was raised by my mother, so I absolutely agree with that. So, guys, this has been the Reach Podcast Show, where we're telling stories of the community and the people that are driving those stories. So we thank you guys for tuning in. We appreciate you being part of this conversation. If you would like to be interviewed or be featured on the show, just hit me up. Just go to Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. The email is the Reach Podcast Show @gmail.com. And it's really simple. We can connect in any shape, form, and fashion. If you have a business, I would love to come to your business and highlight your business. So again, we appreciate you guys for listening in. Stay tuned, stay connected. Catch us back here next week on Thursday mornings. We appreciate you guys.
Make it a great day.
Absolutely. And Mr. Irvin, thank you.